but welcome to 4F Beauty anyway. Right, today is a double new product for me to try. It's the Makeup Rev Pro range, and it's the concealer and the foundation. I've got them both in the lightest shades, F1 and C1. So if you want to see how it applied, how everything blends over it, and how it lasts throughout the day, you're in exactly the right place. Don't go anywhere. Stay right there. Hey, welcome back from the intro. I apologise that my voice comes and goes during this, but hay fever appears to be hitting me already this year. So, I have washed, moisturised, and popped some of this on, which obviously you know I use as my primer. If this is the first video of mine you're watching, I've got chronic pain and side effects of that and side effects of the meds for it. Means my face sweats a lot, so I have to use an antiperspirant. Otherwise, my makeup disappears in about an hour. Talking of makeup, we're trying new ones today. Now, Makeup Rev have brought out Revolution Pro range, and they've got this full cover camouflage foundation and full cover camouflage concealer. Now, as you know, I have tried this stick foundation from Makeup Rev. You're going to have to watch that video to see what I thought of that. But this looks like it could be quite a nice one. From the description they've put on their website, it's meant to be a nice matte finish, full coverage and long lasting, blah blah blah. You get 25 mils or 0.87 fluid ounces, and it's £7. So, not the full fluid ounce you normally get, but it is only £7. So, mind you, having said that, my Avon one was only £6 at the moment. No seal on them. Although it did have a plastic seal on it, which I took off, so I'm guessing that's why. Right, let's see what consistency. This is my phone case, which you know I use as my my palette. Okay, so that's the consistency. As I've not used this before, I should brush one side and a sponge the other and see which one gives the best finish. Brush wise, I'm going to go in with this Avon brush, which is similar shape to the Real Techniques Expert Face brush, but it's just ever so slightly softer, so it's less likely to leave brush marks. Right, let's zoom you in a wee bit and let's try putting some of this on. As always, people see the middle of your face first, so that's where you want to put your foundation to start with. And just work it out to the edges of your face. Doesn't really smell of anything. Feels very lightweight. I've gone for the lightest shade, which is F1, foundation 1. Looks like it could be quite a good match. I mean, what I squeezed out there was probably the equivalent of about 1.5 pumps. And I've still got just over half left, but obviously sponges do soak up more than brushes do. I mean, I wouldn't call it camouflage foundation, but I'd certainly say that's a medium. As camouflage, I expect it to cover more of my dark circles than that. the Jouer one does. And the Estee Lauder. How's your day been so far? Hope it's been a good one, or if you're at the start of your day, I hope it's going to be a good one. Do you know what? It's a skill to put foundation on, not get it on your hair, or in this case, my towel, and it's a skill I still haven't learned, apparently. One I've not been blessed with. That's the two sides. Bizarrely, I actually think I got better coverage using a sponge, which is not normally the case, because normally a sponge will shear foundation out a little bit. I'll just go over this side, just at the last little bit that I pumped out. What do you think? I quite like that actually. Right, as always with my brushes, whenever I've used creams or liquids, I always clean my brushes off before I put them back down. Partly so that I can still use them again tomorrow and the bristles don't go too stiff. It extends the wear time in terms of how long your brushes last. And when you do your weekly or sometimes fortnightly deep clean, it's much quicker because you take off the majority of it on the day that you use it. So, sorry, there goes my blooming voice again. So I can tilt this down a wee bit. Yeah, I think that's a bit better. So, just take the majority of it off. Right, now let's see what this concealer's like. Nothing that I need to worry about at the moment. Right, as you know, I tend to use a flat foundation brush. And this is in a wee tube, and you get 8.5 mils or 0.29 fluid ounces. You actually get more in this than you do in these Conceal and Define. Conceal and Define you get 3.4 mils or 0.11 fluid ounces. In the Catrice one you get 5 mils. In Too Faced you get, she said, trying to find it, it's got to be on here somewhere, 7 mils. Colourpop, sorry, that was 7 grams, not 7 mils. Yeah, 7 mils. And this one you get 4. So you actually do get quite a bit in here. But let's see what sort of consistency it is. Yep. A little bit thicker than the foundation. And I've got this in shade C1, so concealer 1, which is the lightest. And let's just pop a bit of this on and just see what it's like. I don't use a separate eyelid primer. I just continue my antiperspirant primer across all of my eyes, all my eyelids, and then take the foundation and the concealer across and set it with powder, and I find that works absolutely fine for me. If you, I've got quite oily eyelids, I've got oily combo skin. If you've got very dry eyelids, you may find that you need to use a more moisturising eyelid primer first. You know, do what's best for you. I mean, obviously, I can advise you what works on my skin, but you're the expert when it comes to yours. Again, there's no real smell to this, although having said that, my allergies are playing up, so I'm not sure if I'm actually smelling things properly this morning. He's actually arrived yesterday, but I didn't have a voice at all yesterday. So there we go. See if we can build that up a little bit more there. I don't do the huge triangles that you see beauty gurus doing. It's just not necessary. You don't need that in real life. Just waste product, settles into fine lines, and ends up going a real cake face by the end of the day. Might look good in their studio with all the studio lighting, but unless you're spending your day in a studio or carrying a ring light around with you all the time, then you don't need to do it. You really don't. That is actually quite a sticky. I don't know if you can hear it as I'm patting that in, but it is quite a sticky base, so it's definitely going to need setting, otherwise it will crease on me. Just cleaning this brush off. So the check-in time, I'm actually going to remember to give you the check-in time. It's 12:05. So I will disappear off now, put some colour onto my face, and I will be right back right after, well, it's going to be seconds for you. It's probably going to take me about 3/4 of an hour to an hour. No, my luck, the way my pain is today. And we will see how makeup blends over the top of this, and I will of course do my usual 2 check-ins with you throughout the day so that you can see exactly how this fares on my oily combo skin. So don't go anywhere, I'm going to be right back. Hey, I'm back, and as promised, a lot more colourful. I used Juvia's Zulu for the eyes, and I used Colourpop Luxe Lippy in Getty for the lips. One thing I did notice, it really, these foundation and concealers really needed a lot of setting. I set them more than I would normally do because they were almost making the brushes feel slightly damp as I'm putting the setting powder on. So I put extra on. As you know, I don't bake, so I don't put huge amounts of translucent powder here to catch fallout, because I've used Juvia's before and the fallout just sweeps away no matter what colour I'm using, it just sweeps away without staining. Had real trouble with some fallout this time. It really didn't want to go. I had to put extra translucent powder on, and you can probably still see little bits here and here. So this is a very sticky formulation. I mean, the base products, bronzer and blush, went on absolutely fine. It was just the fallout that I had an issue with. It didn't dust off very easily. So if you're going to be using these, and if you're using a palette that's got a lot of fallout, I'd advise doing your eyes first, or If you're young enough that you can bake without looking like alligator skin under your eyes, then put a lot of translucent powder down to catch any fallout. Apart from that, it feels absolutely fine, and my face is still slightly damp from the setting spray, because you know how much setting spray I use. But yeah, apart from that, it feels okay. It's not coming off on my hands. It's now 5 to 1, so this has been on for about 40 minutes now, 45 minutes ish. So obviously it's still looking fine at the moment. I've got a few hours to wait before the first check-in, but you are going to see it right now. Hey, welcome back. Check-in number 1. It is 6 o'clock, just turned. So this has been on for 6 hours. Let's have a zoom in and see how it's doing. Doesn't seem to be settling in those lines just yet. That's good. Still looking quite hydrated here. That's obviously where I had the issue with the fallout, where the concealer was still quite sticky. So I need to bear that in mind for the future. But still quite hydrated there. Starting to split a little bit at the side of my nose there. I've been rubbing my nose quite a bit because of my hay fever, which is actually coping really well. The fact that it's still got foundation on the nose doesn't seem to be settling in the smile lines. Still looking good on the chin. It's not gone scaly on the dry bits of my cheek here. Blush, contour and highlight still look good. So far, doing really well. It's certainly outperforming the other Makeup Rev foundation that I tried. Have you watched that video yet? If not, you really should. I'll try and remember to link it in the description box below. But yeah, 6 hours in, it's looking pretty good. It's doing quite a good job of controlling my oils. It is coming off on my fingers when I touch my skin, but only when I touch my skin. So it's not really moving around very much under its own steam, so that's good. I'm impressed that, given how much I've done this today because of itchy nose, because of hay fever, I'm really impressed that it's still holding on my nose there, so that really is doing well so far. Alright, let's keep our fingers crossed that it looks just as positive in a few hours' time. Well, a few hours for me anyway. You get to see the final check-in, which I'm probably going to sing again, but you're going to get to see it right after this, so don't go anywhere. Hey, welcome back to the final check-in. Down. Right, it is 10:15, so it's been on for just over the 10 hours now, so let's have a zoom in and see how it's fared. It's just starting to settle in that line there now, and in that deep frown line you can see it's split and settled. It's gone a wee bit dry under my eyes there. Worn off quite a bit here and here, but the sides of the nose aren't looking that bad. As I said, I have been doing this quite a bit because my allergies have been playing up, so I'm not at all surprised there's no makeup on the end of my nose at all. Just starting to set a little bit in that smile line there. Wearing off the chin, but quite gracefully actually. Bronzer and blush and highlight all still doing their thing. Okay, so what are my final thoughts on the Revolution Pro Full Coverage Camouflage Foundation and Concealer? I give it a tentative thumbs up. I say tentative because obviously where I've been rubbing my nose quite a bit today because of my allergies, it's difficult to tell whether it's worn off of my nose because of that or if it's the oils that have broken it down. But looking at the sides of my nose here, they don't seem to have broken down very much. So I think the fact that it's worn off of there and it's broken down around here, I think is more likely to the fact that I have been rubbing my nose and trying to these blasted allergies. It has gone a little bit dry under my eyes, but then a lot of foundation to do by this point of time. I mean, if this wasn't a foundation test, then at about the 5 or 6 hour mark I would have blotted, I would have popped probably a wee bit more concealer on and some more powder. So that probably would have rehydrated here and it probably wouldn't be looking quite this scaly. So, as I said, at the moment that's a tentative thumbs up. I'm going to have to try using it on a day when my allergies are not quite so bad. And obviously what I'll do in the description box below, I will update that if there's any further news. But yeah, at the moment that's not bad. I mean, admittedly it's not the full 1 fluid ounce or 30 mils, it is 25 mils and £7. So at the moment, I mean, this LA Girl is a tenner and that's a fluid ounce. The CYO Life Proof, which I think is back in the front room, is £7.50, that's a full fluid ounce. My Avon one at the moment is £6, it may have gone back up to 12 now, that's a full fluid ounce. A tentative thumbs up. Seems to have coped. It's coped better than I thought it would after the last Revolution foundation that I tried, the stick one. It remains to be seen whether it actually makes it into my sort of top 5, top 10 drugstore foundations, but at the moment I'm reasonably happy with it. As I said, it does need a lot of powdering. It did remain quite sticky, so that could be why the under eyes have gone so dry, because I had to put so much extra powder on. So that could be an issue. I'm going to try them in different combinations, so with the foundation with different concealers, the concealer with different foundations, and just see how it goes really. But at the moment it's a tentative thumbs up, and if you've got a Superdrug near you that have got them in stock and they've got your colour, then or if you know what colour you are on the stick foundations, because apparently these are the same shades as this one, then it's worth a punt to see whether it works for your skin or not. It's certainly not the worst one I've tried. So on that kind of positive note, I think that's where we'll end the video. I need to take this off, have a big glass of water, take some decongestants, and go to bed. So, all that remains for me to say is I hope you found this helpful. If you did, perhaps you'd like to hit that like button, comment, subscribe maybe. If you do subscribe, don't forget to hit that bell, and then you get notified every time I put up a new video. So, wherever you are in the world, whatever time zone you're in, whatever time of day it is that you're watching me, I hope you have an absolutely fabulous time, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.